Okay, what about now? I've changed some settings.
Oh, I am hearing things.
Oh, good news. Maybe they don't hear you though.
No, I think they can hear both of us now.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay,
All right.
that's awesome. Great
Yeah,
news.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the slightly delayed qualifying session. We are a couple of minutes in now, so people have started to set times.
Yes, we can see Franicek with the quickest lap time of 1 minute and 51 seconds.
First, for a quick introduction, my name is WMDR Martin. I'm here with Faverka. I'm sure you guys have heard of him before, but for me, it's the first time in the LMU division of Phoenix. So, hello to all of you listening. I come from the PC2 division. Yes, it does still exist, even if the wiki has no documentation of its existence. It's definitely not just an urban legend, but I am looking forward to seeing a nice big grid tonight, because that is a lot of drivers out on track tonight.
Still 5 of the drivers are in the pits. I wonder what's the reason. Do you think they are waiting to go again? I mean, the quali ends in 7 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, and then the hypercars go out.
Good point. Even though you see 22 minutes there at the top of the screen, that is for the entire session, which is split into two. So the GT car is running out of time to start setting new laps very, very soon.
And Manuel Witt has put it on provisional pole with the fastest third sector.
Yeah, now I am getting a good view of it, but I'm wondering, is there any way to actually make this view full screen? Because I'm struggling to read the gaps.
Yeah, just click on it. I think that should work.
Okay, I can zoom in with my mouse apparently. So that is a 2.5 gap to second place. That is not bad in the slightest. It looks like there's only a 1 millisecond separating P2 from P3 as well. So if that's anything to go by for race pace, we'll be seeing a very close fight for the podium. I will say though, it is kind of funny that I can see the full names, but only for the people who aren't actually driving right now and are the least relevant at the moment.
Yeah. I wonder why they are in the pits. I don't think that there are any penalty issued. I mean,
maybe they're just not quite happy with their setup yet. I know they've had a good bit of practice, but sometimes if you just go into the wrong direction with your setup, you might still be putting in some tweaks deep into qualifying. So that could well be
true.
A possibility.
But from what I can see, we have 5 drivers who have not set the lap time. So, I mean, personally, I would give it a shot, even though the setup might not be optimal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's essential to get, at the very least, a banker lap in there. If you don't, you can consider your qualifying very much ruined. Now, the actual grid size, do we have 17 GT cars here tonight?
Yep, that's correct. I think
Alright,
the same should go for hypercars. Let me check.
Yeah, I think the last 2 GT cars that have set a lap, both in the BMW, I think they'll definitely want to get some more laps in there as well, because that is a sizable gap to the nearest competitors out in front, more than a second slower. And within the top 10, it's all still quite close. I mean, P9 and 10, it's just a couple hundredths of a second separating those two.
But they are both in the pits, and I'm not sure if they get enough time to put in proper laps.
Yeah, maybe they've just gone for a quick restroom break before the race. It's always possible.
Yeah, I mean, they have still 15 minutes of hypercar qualifying. But
maybe it's a number 2.
yeah.
Oh, as we do have a car spinning off track there, but since this is Paul Ricard, they have not so miraculously survived, although I'm sure that's not going to be fun for the tires.
Definitely not. I mean, Zabaglo wasn't improving, so I don't think that's gonna be a big problem, but it might have ruined his tires for his next lap.
And he's currently down in 7th place. He's got a Ford driver right behind him in the timing sheets. Not much of a gap between them at all. A fairly sizable gap in front, though, about 4/10 separating him from P6. So if he wants to improve, he's going to have an absolute, amazing next lap, really, as he crosses the start-finish straight now. I will say as well, it's going to be very fun to try and learn how to pronounce all these new names.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm on the same page there with you.
Now, I have been given a link to the results of the last race, and it seems like we can expect some pretty impressive things from Levi Jennings, Manuel Weed, and Linus Spokauskas tonight. So those are the 3 podium sitters from last race. Yeah. Currently, it does not look like Spokauskas is going to be setting a lap. He's currently down in last with no time set. And Weed, where is Weed? Well, he's actually currently on provisional pole. So the top 2 here, both from the podium last week.
Yes, exactly. He set the purpose sector, but the second one, there's no improvement.
Wait. Are P2 and 3 tied now? Is that exactly the same lap?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, that is quite impressive, even if it's not for pole.
Yeah, it looks like to be Levi Jennings and Ivo Franicek.
Now, if you break any sort of rule in qualifying, can you get a position grid penalty before the race?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean...
Alright, so I guess that would mean that Manuel is pretty safe in his provisional pole. He won't be getting any penalties that'll make those identical times be the pole times. And still so many cars out there in the pit lane. And not having set a time, that is indeed something very, very questionable. I wonder if we'll be seeing the same thing in the hypercars in a few minutes.
We'll see. It was an improvement for Manuel. He set the fastest lap time, but I think there's no one to beat him. I think the time he had before would have been enough.
Also, thank you for popping in Fresh Brizzle. I hope you enjoy your dinner. Less than 16 minutes left in this qualifying session now. Over half, well, just about half of the grid currently in the pits. Half of that half without even setting a time. I do say, though, this is quite a fancy livery. Flames on it and everything. Jennings currently in second place. That livery definitely giving an extra few tenths, but not on this lap. They're off track. And by off track, I mean in the pits.
I have to say, I like the livery as well. We can take a closer look at it in the race, perhaps.
So these liveries, are these all made by the players for the players, or are these in-game liveries?
I think this one was custom. I mean, some of the drivers have their liveries, some don't. I think you have to pay some money. It's not free to display your livery. I mean, I don't know that much about LMU, so maybe someone will correct me, but I think it is a paid service. So I think we have some drivers with custom and some with in-game mounts.
Interesting. Yeah, I've done a fair bit of commentary on some AMS2 league racing, and over there in that league we've also had some custom liveries, but in that case it is a free feature where everyone has to just download the livery pack. So that's how it works in that game. Of course, not all sim racing games are created equal. This game has some things that AMS2 doesn't, and the other way around as well. Now, I have heard that this game has a somewhat buggy but still interesting instant replay feature, which is definitely not something AMS2 has.
Yes, there is a replay, but as you say, we had some problems with it in the past, so let's hope that it works today.
Also, I think there might be a glitch going on with those top 3 lap times as they disappear off the screen now, because we saw earlier that P2 and 3 had exactly the same lap time down to the millisecond. I think P1 might have just barely improved, and then when the gap to the front driver changed, suddenly it was a millisecond off again, so very interesting timing table quirks there, as the hypercars are now out on track. But again, it's only half of them.
Yeah, they have still plenty of time to get out, so I think we'll see less drivers in the pits. Hopefully, though. Yes, they are coming out already.
As we're blasting down the main straight into turn 1. During the driver's briefing, it was pointed out that there is actually quite a nasty bump over there in the first corner. As you can see, the hypercar just kind of bouncing over it there, making it very, very risky if you want to go too wide. Definitely no 3 wide to be expected into turn 1 of this race, but we'll have to wait and see to be entirely sure, as someone gets out of the way there for Shibora to set his first. Well, no, I guess this is still an outlap. Well, how is this still an outlap? Because we just saw him cross the start-finish straight.
Yes, you are right. I have no idea. I mean, the overlays sometimes tell weird stuff, but he's weaving on the straight, so I don't think this is a fast lap for him. I think he's just preparing the tires.
And maybe preparing the bottom of the car as well, because I can see a lot of sparks coming from that thing.
It must be sitting pretty low. I mean, the straight is quite long, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think the curbs around here are generally fairly flat, so it's not too much of a risk of bottoming out and losing control of the car.
And from the drivers that are on the first lap, it looks like War Thunder is the fastest in the first sector and in the second sector as well.
Purple times consecutively, you'll love to see it. Unless you are, of course, any of his rivals. And there's another person just out on the side of the track. It's runoff central around here in France. I'd be very surprised if there's any track out there on the calendar that has more runoff than this place. But so far, Thunder keeping it between the white lines, not using any of that runoff. Through the final 2 corners now, down the main straight, under the starting lights, and it's a 1:38.1, 2.4 seconds ahead of the only other driver to set a lap time so far. Nope, make that 1.7 now as the laps start trickling in. It definitely seems like the Cadillacs, or at least the Cadillac drivers, are all having a bit of a tea break, though. None of those people out on track currently.
I mean, the only reason why they could be in the garage for me would be waiting for the track to get better. But if
so it's a bit like an F1 Q3 situation where they just all wait until the very end of the session instead of doing 2 runs.
It looks like it, but personally I would set a banker lap time just in case.
Absolutely. I always think it's a bit frustrating, especially if there's then... I mean, I'm not sure if this happens in LMU, but if there's then a sudden red flag, then you're the sucker out there that hasn't set a single lap time.
Yeah, I don't think red flags are here. But, of course, traffic can cause a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, and someone can just crash into you as well. I mean, it's hopefully not something that'll happen very often, but there is always a chance.
Exactly, and track limits can be a problem as well.
Oh yeah, actually tell me about the track limits in this game, because I come from a line of games that have some somewhat questionable track limits at times.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure you get track limit points in the race, and if you reach a certain amount you will get a penalty. I really like the system in LMU. It judges the severity of the cut, and if you slow down they let you get away with it. So I think it's a really modern style. But of course this is Paul Ricard, so I think we will see some penalties.
Now, I am just looking at the results for the hypercars from last race now, and I don't see Thunder in there anywhere. Is he new for round 2?
I think he was present for round 1. At least I remember him in this lovely black and red car. But
Maybe he's been erased from the records. He said something wrong and he's now been censored.
And he is still the fastest man on the track.
And by some margin as well. Let's take a look at that gap. If I zoom in real quick. Yeah, that's definitely over half a second. So still with all the purple sectors. Unchallenged thus far. A lot of drivers 2 seconds off the pace. This looks like it will not necessarily be a crazy fight for the win here if no one can bring the challenge to Thunder. We still have 4 or 5 drivers yet to set a lap. We have 7.5 minutes left now. As for the car balance, do you have any sort of idea about which of these cars is the class of the field? Have they been balanced?
I have absolutely no idea. I think there is some kind of BOP, but we can see 2 BMWs in the front, which could say something, but maybe it's just fast drivers.
And you can see Thunder still in P1, once again improving, another 10th chewed out of that first sector. Choosing not to take any slipstream down this straight, which is quite interesting. I've definitely seen people not use any slipstream during the race sometimes, maybe try and get the engine a bit cooled, but in qualifying you'd think it's a bit more essential, as he now is in the slipstream, but I think that's just because that's the racing line into this high-speed right-hander here. You lose the back end here and you actually might hit a wall. Again, improving in Sector 2 by half a tenth this time. Can he make it triple purple once again? Through the final few corners now. Back onto that start-finish. Finish line here fairly... Well, actually, no, not fairly early. It's kind of in the middle of the straight. Crosses the line once again. Purple sector. Again, half a tenth. And now he's set a 1:37.2. Nearly a second faster than the nearest BMW, who also happens to be his nearest competitor. 0.8 of a second behind.
I have to say, 0.8, that's quite a big margin. I mean, especially when the lap is under 2 minutes. Almost 1.5. I hope that some drivers can challenge him. And did this look like a spin from another driver?
Definitely someone off in the background, maybe to let another through.
I think that might have been a Genesis here.
Now, I can't immediately see the quali results from last time round. So do you kind of remember what the gap was between P1 and 2 last time round?
I'm not sure. I think it was a little closer. But it might have been LMGT Freeze. I'm not quite sure. I mean,
we're now seeing an improvement here. One of the Aston drivers up into P6, 1.5 seconds down on the provisional pole time. 4.5 minutes left. Still all to play for here, but I think a lot of these drivers are just going to want to consolidate their cars, make sure they're comfortable with what they're driving, because I think they're pretty much locked in to their spots on the grid when it comes to pace. I don't think we'll be seeing many people jump from P16 to P2 or P3.
Yeah, certainly not from P16. They are still in the pits. It's 4 drivers.
Could it maybe be that they've been penalized? Maybe they've got a quali ban for something in the previous race.
I went to the penalties channel and I don't see anything there.
Maybe they're experimenting to see if they give themselves a self-imposed quali ban. If they actually get a quali ban in the future, they could say, I already served one, even though I didn't get one.
Yeah, maybe. Or they wanna do a last to first challenge.
See, that would make for a very interesting race, but I wouldn't be trying that in a lobby where the provisional pole guy is 8/10 ahead of his nearest competitor.
I mean, I checked the results from last race, and Voltandra was P5. He was in the race. So just to correct you there. It is true
Yeah,
that...
I'm just not seeing him in the results anywhere, though. What
yeah,
was his...
yeah, people have problems with how to call him, I think. Sometimes they go by his name, sometimes by his nickname, so...
yeah, because I'm just a little thrown off, because in the game he's called Thunder, and in the results sheet he's not.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what his actual name is.
And will we see an improvement in this session? The Alpine driver was improving. Oh, a different Alpine driver is improving. It's Ben Niele.
I love the design of that car. Iconic taillights. Going through the final corner now. Double slipstream. Goes from 10th to 10th.
And another driver improving is Alex Perry in the lovely yellow Aston.
Yeah, that threw me off for a second. I was thinking, wait, is that a Cadillac? But they're all still in the pits.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be seeing any lap time from those people.
Yeah, it is weird though. I mean, few cars in GT3s and now. I mean, I have to ask them after the race why they did that.
See, my grandpa would say, since we're asking questions about this, he would say that they're doing that to make people like us ask questions.
Oh, that's a good answer. I hope they'll give a better one.
As there's only a minute and a half left. A lap time here is slightly over that. So we won't be seeing any times from Wart, Gottschalk, and Krushan Blin. And that's quite remarkable, especially from Gottschalk, because I believe he was the winner of the previous race.
Yes, you are correct. He won. He, I think, gambled on strategy. Or he was the only hypercar that did not pit, if I'm correct.
Oh, I do love an alternate strategy like that. That's usually takes a good bit of thinking and good driving as well. Now, I see Krushan Blin down in last as well. Was another podium sitter, P2 last race. A double last to first challenge here, it seems. And Peterson, is he currently out on the field somewhere? Our third place finisher from round one. I think he might be in P5 because his middle name is Dahl.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, based on prior results, he's got a pretty good chance tonight, but those are some serious gaps out in front of him. Still 0.8 of a second separating the top two, but it's incredibly close once again between P2 and 3. Just 4 milliseconds between the two.
But will there be any improvements? Peterson did not improve in the first sector. But we can see another Toyota driver is improving.
Could we go for an onboard shot as well?
Oh, of course.
And you can just see the wide late apex here for such a long corner. Immediately into another one. Just hugging that curb as much as possible. Going a little deep into this one, but once again, it's one of the longer corners. One corner left to go. Try not to wash out too wide. Just touch that curb there, and now straight to the line. Currently 4th place for Santana. What does it become? It stays 4th. Minor improvements in every sector but the 3rd, so stays in 4th. No improvements there.
The gap was 3 tenths, so it was quite a big one to catch.
Now, the two warts, I assume they are related, right? Or are they two completely unrelated warts?
Say that again.
The two warts there in P14 and 15, and I'm guessing those are probably brothers.
I guess. Yeah, Ben Wort and Ryan Wort.
Yeah, so very interesting storyline for this upcoming race. We've got two former podium sitters, leaders in the championship, doing a last to first challenge, and a couple of brothers as well. Oh, as we're almost getting the race started here.
Yeah, they are just choosing their setups, probably tires and how much fuel they want to put in.
Now, as for the lobby settings, do we know if there's any sort of increased fuel usage to encourage people to pit, or is it all done at max realism, completely normal?
I think it is normal. I mean, I don't even know if this option is available in LMU.
I'd be quite surprised if it isn't, because I think I've seen that in almost every sim that I've tried so far.
Yeah, that's
usually to encourage people to pit in shorter races, and in some games the tires are just so durable that you never really need to pit for them, and that just kind of defeats the whole purpose of even having a pit lane and strategy. So
yeah, that is right. Okay, I think the formation lab has started. Yeah. Okay, so World Thunder will lead us away.
I can finally see the names. Wonderful. We've got
yes.
Thunder on pole, Wohler in second place, starting with goodness gracious, I have no idea how to pronounce that, in third. Santana currently in fourth. Peterson starting this race in fifth position, followed by Taggart and McAllister, Neal and Skopas, and just there to round out the top 10, Chibora. Perry then starts just outside of the top 10 in 11th, followed by Byrne. I think that's an N. It's really tough to see. Even when I zoom in, it's kind of pixelated. Flint just behind. Then we have the Cadillac driver of Krushan Blin, followed by Wart number 1, Gottschalk, and Wart number 2. That is the hypercar grid for tonight's race. Yeah. And we haven't quite been able to do a rundown on the GT cars, as we are about to get underway now for the start of the race. but Weed is your pole sitter for the GT cars.
It looks like the 4 hypers have stayed in the pits, but we are go, and both
And we're
under
off
seems
already
to
the
have a
top
good
2.
start.
Yeah, the top 2 already really pulling into turn 1 ahead of anyone else. Are we going to see 3 wide behind or not?
Ooh, there is
It
a
looks
spin.
like we do have contact. 2
And
cars
in
off the track, one of them really
GT
spinning off at a
as
high
well.
speed.
Oh no.
Even more people now missing corners in the second sector. So maybe try and put the camera on some of those cars in the back, see if we can see if there's any damage back there.
Alex Perry looks to be the one who got damage, or at least got spun.
And now massively stuck in the GT3 train. But a lot of straights around here should be able to make quick work of a lot of these guys. Still, though, Thunder leading this race. It is our P2 driver now, no longer in the top 3. It's the one name I can't pronounce, currently in second place for the hypercars. As we can see here, Perry making up those positions. Massive straight line speed difference.
Okay, well, Thunder looks like he has a comfortable gap on the opening lap. Let's see if someone can close the pace and keep up with him, because the gap in qualifying was quite large.
Absolutely. You really have to wonder if Thunder is going to play it conservatively because he knows he might be safe on a pace, or if he's doing an alternate strategy that could be slowing him down as well. But for now, the top 2 remain quite close indeed. Also pressure on third place Peterson from Santana.
Okay, let's take a look at the GT Freeze. It is Levi Jennings who leads.
Yeah, Weed's lost 2 positions now down in third for the GTs, but they're all still close enough to challenge each other.
But I wonder if something happened there. Be slight contact, because Weed was on pole. He lost 2 positions.
And actually we can see a move there just behind 3 cars back into turn 1. I don't think the overtake got completed there, but yeah, it's definitely tough to see these battles in the back when we're on the lead car here.
Yeah, of course.
But definitely one of the most beautiful cars leading the pack. Love to see that flame livery. The gap for the hypercar lead now 2 seconds, so Thunder fairly safe at the moment. Still pressure from Santana for third place.
BMWs are fighting on the straight.
Yeah, not going side by side through there. Be very surprised if they tried to pull that one off. As my Discord refuses to let me do certain things here.
Then if I see correctly, there's a 4-way fight in GT Freeze for P4. Oh!
I think that's a commentator's curse. It's gone from a 4-way fight to a 2-way fight. And there's even another driver off the track, and that was completely unrelated.
Who was that?
It definitely wasn't Thunder, because he's just set another fastest lap of the race, a 1:38.1. I think that's a time that would already make some other drivers envy and qualify.
Looks like it was EVO Franicek. I don't know how big that contact was. But
the cars themselves seem fine so far, though, but I have to worry about those tires.
Duranov has saved them. But they
Could we get an onboard shot here? I think he's going for the move around the outside. Oh, he's already gotten it done before the final corner. Meanwhile, pole sitter Weed for the GTs now fastest lap in his class. Still in P3. Also a 3-way fight for that third position in the hypercars. It's not just Santana putting on pressure.
Oh, and it looks like there was some collision in hypercars as well, because Jacob Tsibura was side by side with Darren McAllister last lap, but they are now separated, but 5 seconds. So I'll try to find the replay of that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like some sort of contact rather than a simple mistake. I think with a typical mistake, you'll maybe lose anywhere around 1 to 2 seconds, and something closer to a half spin would be closer to 6 or 8.
It looks like
We can see
another
now
fight here.
pressure on the BMW driver McLaren in the slipstream, going to the inside for the next corner. High speed right-hander. Will they take it side by side? Will the Beamer pull out? The Beamer pulls out. NASA liveried car. Very, very nice, but not fast enough to stay there, as there's another car off.
I think it is the
same one that we saw last lap. So some people clearly struggling with track limits. I have to wonder if that's just maybe getting snaps of oversteer and then correcting it, sending them massively off the track. Not a lot of tracks where you could afford to do that, really. As yeah, the fight for P3 in the hypercars continues on as well. No major position changes there, and the gap to the leader now 3.3 seconds. So Thunder comfortably leading this race, but any significant mistake from him, and he can still easily lose the lead.
You are absolutely right. I think Thunder's pace is great. I think he can win this race comfortably, but he has to be careful not to make many mistakes, because David behind him will take the place if he does, and I think we saw a spinner in the background. I'm not sure who it was. And it is Darren.
McAllister down in 9th place, making sure to rejoin the track safely. Very unfortunate to be spinning at this stage of the race. There's still 53 minutes left. You can still recover, of course, but I'm sure that's not going to do any favors for your confidence, as Thunder in the lead in the hypercars once again setting a PB. It's not by much, though. It's once again a 1:38.1.
I think he was actually fighting for P3 in hypercars, but he might have spin on his own, because I don't see any contact in my app.
Oh, he might have, yeah, I think he was probably P5, wasn't he, behind Santana?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, when there is a freeway fight for P5 in LMGT3s again. Let's see. The McLarens are fighting it out.
Yeah, of course, this light blue one here, I believe that's Borowick we're watching, or is this camera focused on the yellow one?
I think it's on Borowick.
Okay, so Bartel's there.
Maybe.
Definitely putting a lot of pressure on Borowick, but with the BMW just behind him, the NASA car, if he goes a little too aggressive without actually pulling off the overtake, he could well get passed by the car behind himself. And I think there's a hypercar about to lap them as well. Into turn 1, side by side. It's risky with that bump.
Oh!
And there you go. Immediately spins through into turn 2. Kind of a dangerous rejoin, but luckily didn't hit anyone.
Yeah,
completely no control of the car there.
Ran off. Oh, that was a risky rejoin.
Yeah, that might get looked at by the stewards afterwards.
I think it was still okay, but
Brown had to take evasive action onto the curb, slightly cutting the corner. It's all a bit of a complicated set of corners there, that's for sure. But considering that Borowick was up that high to begin with, I'm sure this race is not over yet. Could well regain a couple of those spots. The gap now to the leaders for the hypercars is now 5.2 seconds. Thunder just thundering away with that lead. Fight for P3 now just between Santana and Peterson.
Yeah, two Toyotas. So this is gonna be more about drivers and setups and not cars. So let's see who comes on top.
That's always a bit unfortunate, but I do hope that at least the teammates are helping each other out tonight.
Are they in the same team though? Because we don't do it according to the brands, but we choose.
Ooh, yeah, if they're in a different car, then it does become a lot harder to share setup tips, doesn't it? Can definitely try and give each other similar handling characteristics, but to know exactly what to change on a completely different make of car, that is no simple feat indeed. You can see Peterson has been under pressure now for about 10 minutes since the start of the race. doing a lot of work for the top two. That gap now to them 4.5 seconds. Can we go maybe on board with Santana for this turn one? See how much he's gaining or not in the slipstream. It definitely seems like he's struggling on the straights a bit. So they go into the bumpy turn one. Oh, yeah, they were not exaggerating about those bumps. If you're actually in the car with your head, your neck is going to compensate for a bit of that. But just seeing it here from a static camera, it is very, very jarring indeed.
Yeah, I can see why the McLaren lost it when he was trying to overtake. It is a tricky corner.
Yeah, there's definitely a good reason that it was mentioned in the briefing to watch out there as well. Another thing to watch out for in turn one is that pit lane exit, because if people come out of the pits, they will be very, very slow, and they will be on the apex of the second corner. So people who snooze tonight, they will most certainly lose as well. Jennings in the GT3 cars, leading by just 2.8 seconds. It's not as big of a gap as we have in the hypercars, but it's also not that crazy different. Hypercar now leading by 4 seconds from his nearest rival, the car of Thunder. And this is a whole gaggle of cars here for the Hypers to navigate. The P3 fight trying to not disband over this. Oh, and there's someone spun around in the final corner in a very dangerous position, but staying put, not moving dangerously, so that's good to see. Being predictable, the most important thing in these situations. Santana now 0.8 of a second from that third place. He has lost a bit of time.
And I think
quite a gap. As
oh, they are
hold on,
outside.
Oh yeah, around the outside. Will he be able to pull it off? And no, Santana stays behind 4 now. But there is still another master straight coming. More braking zones. You can't have any more slipstream than this. It's even double now with the GT car in front, but hopefully there's not going to be a late pulling to the side. So then you can get blindsided by the slower car. Santana really wanting that inside line, having to switch to the outside. Good defensive driving from Peterson. Santana not letting the dirty air push him back too far, at least not in that initial phase of the corner.
But there is some traffic in front of them. Looks like they're actually fighting as well.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to cost Peterson quite a bit of time.
He's definitely not gonna be happy about this.
3 wide now, as they all overtake each other. Kind of ironic. It's an Aston in. Actually, no. Wait. What's the brand for? Go ahead.
The McLaren went to pits. I wasn't sure if he went wide, but the pit lane is there.
Yeah, that is quite an early pit stop, isn't it?
Yes, but I think he's not alone. Let's see. Pit stops. Yeah, Tsibora has pitted in the hypercars as well.
Yeah, I was wondering why there was a 40-second gap there. So that is not due to a crash. That is in fact a pit stop gap. Let's see if that pays off or if that was for damage. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and it looks like Andrew Taggart is joining to the battle for P3.
Yeah, they've lost quite a bit of time with all that lap traffic, turning the fight for third into a 3-way fight. Quite fitting. Oh, as I've lost footage. It's back now.
Okay.
The gap between the top two now 17 seconds in the hypercars. Let's maybe get a bit of an onboard view here of Tag's car. Taggart. Yeah, definitely one that's looking forward.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, that's an overtake. Taggart passing Santana, who completely got caught up in the GT traffic.
Yeah, it was a Porsche that was stopping him from going faster. Wonder who that is. Could it be the guy in P3, Manuel Wied? Maybe.
Well, he's supposed to be exactly 1 second behind his nearest rival, so if there's another GT car 1 second ahead, then it is him.
I think it was him.
You can see there is a Beamer still in the way there.
And that is Levi Jennings, the leader.
Yep. Doing an outstanding race for that class so far.
And Andrew Taggart has overtaken him as well. I completely missed that. I think...
Yeah, Taggart got Santana a moment ago, but yeah, look at Santana now. 2 seconds behind this battle, has had an absolute stinker of a first sector. Quite surprising, because they've been lapping cars for a good while now. Wouldn't expect to lose out that much compared to your rivals, but unfortunately for Santana, it has happened. Question is if Taggart can harass Peterson enough to maybe slow him down a bit and drag Santana back into this.
No. Wasn't this battle for P3? I think there was someone
yeah, but
P2.
P2 either crashed somewhere or pitted. I'm not entirely sure. That's why the gap is now 19 seconds.
We have missed that.
Yeah, whoever was in P2 earlier, I think they're currently the 7th placed driver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, maybe.
If only I could actually see these names. Yeah, very calm race out in front for Thunder. Having a bit of a Sunday drive on a Saturday.
Yeah,
but one that's very much at speed.
20-second gap. Unless he makes the mistake, he can bring it home.
Taggart got very, very close to taking a second place there. The gap was just 1/10 a moment ago.
Oh, you are right.
And I think there's been an overtake here in the GTs. Let's go to Zab. Oh, he's in the pits. Still quite close, though, between Wied and... I really wish I was able to see these names better.
I think I have sent you a result of the qualifying, so I think you can find it there.
Yeah, but that's a list of 30 names all right next to each other while I'm trying to watch the race.
Okay, looks like...
Yeah, quite the battle for P4 right now. A lot of people still in contention for that in the GT class. Not so much in the hypercars.
There's a battle for P2 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and drive-through issued for the Bagel.
I wonder what that's for, but that is quite harsh. Drive-through penalty. Probably the last thing you wanted to see popping up on his screen tonight. Aside maybe from the blue screen of death, that's a little bit worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is our GT3 pole sitter trying to get his lead back, but has to go through Elico first.
It looks like Andrew Taggart is close to make an overtake. The gap was closing, but I think that was because they were on straight.
Yeah, this is going to be critical for Peterson as well. If he can keep Taggart behind him without losing too much time, they can pretty much secure the podium for both of themselves. The driver there right behind them, no longer within striking range and has not been able to catch up to them over the past lap. The gap now at 3.2 seconds. I think it was about half a second smaller than that just maybe 2 laps ago. As they speed down one of the longest straights of the track into the high-speed right-hander. It's definitely a fun corner to take, maybe a bit more so in the hypercars than the GT3s. But the field for the hypercars very much spread out outside of this battle. This is the closest you'll see anyone in this class. Other fights currently ongoing as well, still for P2 in the GT3s and for P5 as well in that same class. Maybe for P7 as well in the near future. Let's maybe get a bit of an onboard view here again of Taggart just tailgating Peterson. Once again, though, it looks like Peterson has the edge over the competition on the straights. But whatever he's done to that car, it's made it go quite well in a straight line. And when it comes to being superior with straight line speed, all you really have to do is not make any mistakes in the corners, and you will be set. That's what he's done for the past 20 minutes. He's going to have to do another 20 minutes like that 2 times over. Now, as for strategy calls, what was the average number of pit stops in the previous race? Was it 1, 2, none?
It was 1 for both classes. I think we can expect the same today. Paul Ricard usually has an effect on tires, so I think it will be 1 pit stop today.
And you can see here Taggart having an effect on his own car position as he gets closer and closer to Peterson. This is about as close as you can get in the corner without bumping them. And despite this constant pressuring of Peterson, as he is going a little deep now, almost giving Taggart a sniff of an opportunity, but not quite. They continue to grow that gap to the car behind. It was just over 4 seconds a moment ago. And at this point, you'd have to think it's only a matter of time before Peterson cracks.
Now, Andrew seems a little closer, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
It's very, very difficult to send it into a high-speed corner like turn 1 at Paul Ricard.
Especially in the hypercars.
He's going to want to wait for a heavier braking zone, I think. But the fact that he's able to stay this close in the dirty air is already a very encouraging sign, I'm sure. Well, not encouraging for Peterson, but... yeah, I am wondering how difficult it is to overtake around here, because it does seem like a lot of the faster drivers out here tonight have been engaged in quite lengthy battles. I mean, Weed's still trying to overtake second place there in that class. Has not been able to do it so far, despite being the fastest in qualifying.
Yeah, personally I think the straight is the best place to overtake, but if you don't have the straight line speed, usually because of setup, then there's nothing you can do, and you have to try to think something in the corners.
Yeah, no professional fouls in this sport. You can't just bump someone and try and overtake them with a small penalty. But you can now try and go down the inside. That's what Taggart's doing. Turning into the outside for the next corner, and he's made the move stick.
Nope.
Oh, am I looking at the...
He's still behind.
See, that's so confusing when the car in front has the Aston Martin colors, but is in fact not the Aston Martin.
Yeah, you have to get used to it.
It would have been a nice overtake, but we'll have to wait maybe a couple more laps for that to come to fruition. It was close, though. They almost made contact there, as there is now a look into turn 1. Taggart finally with the straight line speed and the inside to claim, but no, has to pull out of it. Very, very brave cornering from Peterson. Just turned in very confidently.
Yeah, there wasn't much room left. I think he might be a little lucky to get away with that. I mean, Andrew could have had its nose there still, but thankfully it was without contact. As they are gonna lap another car.
Yeah, navigating the Lexus. The Lexus very much having a chill evening, it seems. But we are now getting some complaints about the sound being a little bit too low for the game, as they're once again side by side. Taggart really bringing the fight to Peterson this time. Side by side into the high-speed right-hander, and they touch!
Oh no.
They're both off the track into the wall! Or can they recover? No! Oh, massively painful crash for both of them.
Even the big runoff could not save them.
That is a massive, massive shame. And I have to wonder, is this some hypercar hubris? Because I highly doubt that they would have tried that if they were in GT cars, side by side, through one of the highest speed corners on the track, it was bound to fail.
Yeah, I think Andrew just wanted to get through. But
Was Andrew was he on the inside of that corner?
I'm not sure. We can look at it again.
Yeah, I'd absolutely like to take another look at that, because I think whoever was on the inside probably had really a better hope of hanging on to that position in the corner.
That is true.
But could well have understeered as well. We'll have to wait and see.
And if I see that correctly, we have another commentator joining us.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm so sorry for being late. Like,
No
I
worries.
completely messed up with the time. Like, completely. But yeah.
I guess we can compare it to what we saw in qualifying. As there once again, wait, is this a replay or
Yeah, this is replay. This is replay.
Okay. Yeah, so that was quite remarkable. They were already banging wheels well before they got into the corner.
Let me play that again. Maybe from another angle. Okay, so they were literally side by side.
Okay, whoever was on the outside there, I think I'll have to put that on them, because they just took that corner in the middle of the track while on the outside of another car. That is just not smart to do. You have to give more space than that.
I mean, sometimes when the cars are side by side like this, they get stuck together. So
Helico been given a drive-through now. And Burgi as
oh,
well.
and both under spins. The leader
Ooh.
spins. I think he
All right,
even
now-
touched the ball.
Yeah, that is interesting there. You still got a massive lead, but if that hypercar that pitted earlier, if they're still having a good anonymous race back there, I have to wonder if they'll be ahead of Thunder once he's done his pit stop. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I was going to say for our third commentator here that it's a bit similar to what we saw in qualifying. In both classes, we had like 4 or 5 cars that just didn't come out. They stayed in the pits the whole time. And I guess you've just like stayed in the pits for the commentary people the whole time until now as well.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, we've had some non-stop fights going on in both classes so far. I think Weed has finally managed to get by that 3rd place.
Oh, you are
Well,
right. Let's take a
I
look
can
at it.
tell you, Taggart has been given a stop and go penalty, so I think he is to blame for the crash we just
Wait,
had.
so was Taggart on the inside or the outside?
I don't know, but he just got a stop and go penalty.
I think he was on the outside,
on the
but
screen.
he also went to the pits, so maybe he sped in the pit line, because I'm not aware of live stewardering.
Yeah, I was about to ask that actually, as my more experienced for LMU peers. Do they have live stewarding here?
No, we don't do that. So the only way you can get a penalty is that the game issues it. So I think it was spinning in the pit lane or track limits. Otherwise, I don't see a way of getting a penalty.
Yeah, that is incredibly painful. One moment you're fighting for a podium position, the next you're getting slapped in the face by the game's AI in a race with no AI. I mean, it is quite something, but the leader for Hypercar now, 19 seconds. That gap is starting to grow again after that spin just a couple laps ago. Close fight now for P5 in that class. That's once again Peterson involved. Fighting it out with Waller, taking the, is that the inside line for the next one? A lot of straight line speed difference this time.
I hope someone backs out.
Yeah, the second time's the charm, I hope. And yeah, you can definitely see that's what you do if you are a responsible car on the outside. Position goes to Waller. Peterson down to 6th. Car behind Taggart in the pits now, I assume, to serve that penalty.
Yeah, probably.
Likely. And I would not be surprised if that, what's his name again? Never mind.
What I am looking forward to seeing as well is, well, I think Ellington, or what that name was, I can't see the whole thing at the moment, but I think they've served their penalty as well, so now down in 4th place. Big gap behind Weed, who is now only 2.5 seconds behind the leader in GT3, so that may well be a fight that'll open up quite soon. We still have half an hour left of this race.
I want to say Peterson probably has some damage as well to that car. I know he went into the pits to repair it, but yeah.
Yeah, how much of the car is irreparable in this game?
That's a good question. I do not know.
Yeah,
I think we should all maybe do a commentator's LMU race at some point so we can actually learn how the game works.
that's not a bad idea. I mean, the question is, what cars will we drive? But
You can definitely see Peterson struggling behind Wohler now. I think that fight is well and truly over. Thunder, unbothered by his previous mistake, has dragged that gap open to 20. Well, it was 23 seconds, now 22 seconds again. I think the closest gap we have now is once again with our P4 driver in GT3 with a Ford behind him. Oh, that is a very shaky camera angle. Yeah, the Lexus now going through turn 1. Elico hoping to have a better second half of the race. Now, I am seeing percentages there. Is that the tire wear on all 4 wheels?
no, I would think that's energy that's left.
Oh, wait. GT3 cars have energy nowadays?
Yes, they have fuel and electric energy, so they combine it together and give you this.
Wow, yeah, I mean, the cars I've been racing in these other games must be from the Stone Age then, because these cars were not that fancy back then.
We can actually look who has how much virtual
Thunder's
energy.
used quite a bit of his.
Yeah, I think we can see who has pitted and who has not. Thanks to this.
Now, considering Thunder's great performance so far, would anyone be able to tell me his real name so I could figure out who he was in the first race?
Well, he was in P5, so if you find a guy in P5, that's him.
Okay, so that's my best Greek pronunciation here. Chrysovalantis
Oh,
Kostivas.
and Elico almost had a spin.
Oh yeah, that's side by side now. Franicek going for the opportunity.
He
Around the outside, it's not over yet. Still side by side into the final corner. Elico trying to re-overtake around the outside, almost pulls it off. Gets a little bit of a slap from Franicek. Franicek now leading this battle into turn 1. Unlikely to see a lunge there, but it's possible. No, Elico just biding his time there. He knows it's too risky to go for it in turn 1.
To be fair, I thought Elico had a spin, but he somehow saved it. Oh,
Oh!
that was close.
Absolutely slithering through. Who is that?
Andrew Taggart, I think. Or is that his teammate?
Oh, and once again, the Lexus pulls through, so a small mistake there from Franicek. And he's got to redo that overtake all over again. I mean, it may well have been because he got distracted by the hypercars, but that just goes to show you have to, even if there's not that much fighting going on in these endurance races, you never can afford to fall asleep. He's got the straight line speed, though, to be an answer to Elico's pace. Has a look to the inside. Is it enough for a lunge? No, it's not. They have to watch out for another hypercar that just slithers in through in between now around the outside of Elico. Wow, and that move did take quite a while for the hypercar to pull off. Very, very nerve-wracking if you were in that seat. Meanwhile, gap to the leaders now for hypercars, 26 seconds. It's only growing.
It looks like Vit might be catching Jennings. Let's see.
Well, actually, yeah, cut to that P5 fight because there's only 1/10 of a second separating them.
Okay. Yeah, they're on a straight.
Yeah, it was 1/10 of a second in the corner. I think it's been a much better exit for Zibora. But we've seen Wohler overtake Peterson. Could he overtake 4th place? Never say never. Unlike myself, who just said it twice. And you can see Waller just kind of sticking his nose in there into one of the slower corners.
I think he's gonna catch him.
Yeah, it's definitely looking promising for Waller so far.
Looks like traffic might have helped him here.
You can definitely see gains on the straight. That bottoming out's not going to be helping Jabora any.
Side by side. Oh, not again.
Absolute drag race. Will they give each other space in the corner?
They better do. Oh, actually,
it's
Waller
not
just
even-
goes through.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even necessary. Waller with some very, very good pace down that down that back straight. Now up into 4th position, 52 seconds behind the next car. I think that's the last bit of action he'll be seeing for quite some time. Now we are getting fairly deep into the race. I have to wonder when or if half of these guys are even going to pit.
No, some of them already did. So
Last race we had some guys who didn't pit.
yeah, I think it was just the winner.
Yeah, see, if
Yeah.
that's the winning strategy, I'd imagine more people are going to start to copy that.
Yeah, but I think it's not
Definitely.
possible around here. So, at least from what I heard. So let's see who has done a pit
Maybe the
stop.
word impossible isn't in their dictionary. We'll have to wait and see over the next 23 and a half minutes. A little bit of a snap there from Waller, but the car is still very much under control. And that is one busy livery, my goodness. Could we maybe get a little bit of a glimpse of that on like the hood cam or something?
Oh yes.
It's quite a low camera, but you can see I
Yeah,
think he's lapping another hypercar.
Let me find a better camera. If we have one actually.
No, I think it's comic book themed.
Yeah, looks like it.
Definitely someone's fist on the front left side of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, and a nice little, I think that's a hello on the on the
looks
back
like
as well. Very nice message. Meanwhile, oh, that's not a very nice message, but manages to keep it out of the wall. Not by much though. Very risky for Waller. That will cost him P4. I'd have to think. No.
I think. Yeah,
So
he
far,
has to
no.
slow
Yeah, I
down.
think he's cut a little bit of the track there.
Yeah, he gave the place away.
Yeah.
Fair play there from Waller. Messed up and has to redo that overtake over again. Best lap. Quite significantly faster than the last, and will be a lot more faster than this lap. Yeah, 142, nothing to write home about. Let's maybe go on board here again, see what kinds of different lines he might be picking from his opponent up ahead. The gap just half a second. And this is one of the worst places to catch traffic on this track. Exit massively important, and that's where they get in the way. Same for Waller as well, completely ruined his exit. Meanwhile, I think that's a McLaren down in 6th place for the GTs, also under a little bit of pressure, but he's starting to pull away now from the BMW. Was a gap of less than a second before this lap, now it's 1.5. Are we down to just 16 cars, or is it just not showing the people in the back?
It's not showing the people in the back, but I
okay.
think the people we saw in the pits are not racing today. So, that's the ones we saw in qualifying, I mean.
Oh, so we do have a split 2 driver confirming that a no stop is not possible around here. So thank you for your feedback. Also, does anyone know why there's red markings on the front tires and yellow on the rear?
He has softs on the left front and mediums on the rest.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
can. Oh, yeah. Now I see on the little menu as well. That's a very interesting strategy.
Yeah, I think.
It's nice it's allowed as well.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that it works, because every time I've tried to split the tires in any other sim game, it's never really benefited me all that much. So it is Peterson running this setup. Was fighting for the podium. likely has a damaged car at the moment. Down in 6th place for now. Let's maybe bring the camera back to Waller, who's almost about to overtake for 4th again.
They have a small train forming here. But I think Waller is gonna pass the guy in front of him. Maybe not this lap, but he'll definitely try next lap, I guess.
Yeah, he's done it once. He can definitely do it again. It's more a case of consistency. Can he keep it on the track after he gets the overtake done? As we're entering the final third of this race now, 19.5 minutes left. It's looking very, very good for Thunder in the hypercar class. Half a second ahead of anyone else. Half a second, I mean half a minute. That would be quite the dramatic change if it was only half a second now. I mean, gap in the leaders for GT, though, still around about 2.5 seconds. We're just not able to catch that lead.
Yeah, but the gap is staying the same, so Jennings is under a lot of pressure to not make a mistake. Because once he makes one, Wheat is gonna be there to take the place.
And you can see here Waller using his tires very differently from Shibora. Taking lines that are not putting as much stress onto the tire. As they barrel down towards the bumpy first corner once again. We've seen people lose control here before, not on this occasion. Down into the first real braking zone of the first sector. No lapped cars to get in their way this time around.
Looks like Peterson can't follow these guys.
You mean the dirty air is quite bad in the hypercar?
Yeah, but he's like 2 seconds down now. He was closer than that.
Oh yeah, you mean Peterson? Yeah, I mean he's.
Yeah.
I think he's been struggling ever since that contact.
Yeah.
So he was probably enthusiastic that he was getting close, but it's not looking like he's got the opportunity to pass either of these.
Well, Waller's gonna send it, I think.
He's almost bump drafting Shibora down the straight. Is saving it for another part of the track though. Opening up that gap, not taking any risks at this stage. They are starting to approach more traffic, I think, so might not want to wait too long. It could be either you or your opponent that gets blocked by the lapped cars. Can never really know for sure. The gap now between the top two in GT3 down to 1.8 seconds. That gap is closing somewhat. It's been stable for dozens of laps. Could we have a fight for the lead?
Would be nice if we got it. But it's back to 1.8 again. It was like 1.4, 1.3, and now it's back to around 1.8.
Oh, and you can see a big speed differential. Side by side again. Lap traffic just in front. Oh, and there's contact with the lap car.
Oh no.
An absolute slap in the face for that hypercar, but still Waller not getting the overtake done in the chaos.
Jacob might have some damage from that. He's definitely not gonna be happy about it.
And look, there's Peterson as well, trying to sniff out an opportunity. They're struggling to lap this car. I've said it before, this is the worst part to lap cars around this track. And it's a good exit for Gzibora.
They all cleaned that car in that corner very nicely, I feel. But
yeah, I do wonder how the GT car is going to be feeling about all of that contact, though. That's undoubtedly made them quite nervous indeed. But you can see Peterson now closer to Waller than Waller is to that elusive 4th place position.
But if we look at the energy Waller has, he has to pit. He has not visited the pits and he will have to refuel.
Wait, so is that energy the fuel then, or?
It is the same. The virtual energy combines fuel and electric energy.
Oh, interesting. So wait.
Overall,
does the did they recharge the electric in the pits, or is that under braking and stuff?
I think it is in the pits, but I'm not sure.
Right,
I feel it's under braking, as these are hybrid cars.
Yeah, maybe it's both.
Oh, either way, there is once again some very tight racing going on through turn 1. Waller putting the pressure on Shibora once again. Peterson no longer in this fight. He's dropped off of it. Not for the first time. Gap now for the leading hypercar, though, over half a minute. Still 1.6 in GT3. Can Wohler get it done? He's running out of time. We got 15 minutes left in this race. A lot of people still need to make their pit stops.
He's closing in.
He's closing. Is he going to look to the inside or the outside? He's actually bump drafting him.
Yep.
I was saying it jokingly before, but he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
But it's not really helping him, I feel.
Oh!
Oh, and there's a GT car losing control, somehow keeping
Who
it on
was
track,
that?
but that is avoiding action for Gzibora. Well
That was-
reacted there from the hypercar.
That was Paul Sibora, I think, who spun. Yeah. Let's get back to hypercars.
Wait, so there's two Ziboras?
Yeah, there
yes.
is. Yeah, there is.
Oh, and then, I mean, what are the chances that the one Zibora holds up the other one? That is mightily unlucky. But I'm sure Wohler will. Actually, no. I'm not sure if Wohler will be smiling about that, because if he's bump drafting the other guy, I'd have to wonder if he maybe wanted to stay behind him. Either way, he's up into fourth. Peterson not able to get a move done though. That car just seems completely out of it. Let's maybe cut to Weed though, because he's now only 1.1 seconds behind the leader in GT3.
But Kappa's come down, to 1.2 or something. But it can change really quick. But he's under a second.
Yeah, so any misstep from Jennings at this point can be punished severely. The gap has been consistent, but it's smaller than it's ever been this race. I mean, Jennings took the lead fairly early on in the start. Has held it for nearly 50 minutes. Weed is here to get his pole back.
I wonder if we will see an undercut. I'm not sure how well it worked on LMU, but they both have to pit. So Wheat might as well try it.
Let's maybe get an onboard shot here. I want to see how well this Porsche is doing on the straights. So we've seen a lot of fights tonight, especially in the first half of this race, of people who were in the slipstream and just did not gain on the straights whatsoever. I think maybe a little lock up there for Jennings, as they're about to lap one of their own. Such a long corner. Really stresses the left-hand side tires, I'm sure. Then they do get to rest a bit on this incredibly long straight. Does not have the chicane that F1 used. And you can see Jennings there just getting a slipstream as well, not helping Weed one bit. Also getting some information from the chat here that there is an electric motor that charges with braking and virtual energy that they filled during the pit lane, so it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever is that, for making it clear for us.
That was Laesha 0000. As you can see, Jennings now maybe starting to get a little bit caught up by that lap traffic. Anything here in the final sector could cost them dearly. "11 minutes left to go."
Oh, that lap GT3 car made nice space for the leader and the second guy in second.
Yeah, I mean, the guy in second still had to slightly get around in that final corner, so he's lost a little bit of time, but definitely now, I think on the exit, that gap was 0.4 of a second. I'm sure Weed is getting very, very excited right now. As they navigate that twisty and turny first sector for the umpteenth time. A lot more curb taken by the Porsche driver. I'd have to think that that Beamer up ahead is maybe using a little bit more of the tires. Meanwhile, further behind, there's another fight going on for 7th place as well. As Weed decides to take someone else's slipstream for a change. Let's maybe take a quick look at that P7 fight, because it is quite close in the GT3. Ooh, I think that was someone getting a little squirrely on exit.
Maybe even a hint of contact, maybe.
Szymanski getting close to the second Zibora. But with an exit like that, you won't be seeing any overtakes.
Yeah, let's get back to fight for the win.
Yeah, this is very much the fight for the win to watch. The other one is currently winning by 36 seconds. So that's not exactly something you can see. I mean, like just getting P1 and 2 in the same camera frame, I think is going to be impossible.
Yeah, maybe.
Even with a massive back straight like this.
I think the straight is not long enough for that. I mean, Voltander is flying today. I mean, I wasn't sure about his pace last race, but today he dominates.
Yeah, I'll have to see if that's a sign for things to come later this season. It's still very early days. Maybe it's just the track that suits him much better than the rest.
Actually pitting right now.
Yeah, leader into the pits for the hypercar class. Can we maybe check to see who else has yet to pit? Because I think he's not the only one.
Yeah.
I think almost everyone still has to. At least the top 4 has to.
Yeah, and look at GT3. None of those guys have pitted so far. At least not in the top 8.
Yeah, it was actually the other way around last round. I think the LMGT3s had to pit first.
Yeah.
But I think some of the pits might be because of damage in hypercars. We saw some contact.
Yeah,
so
some damage, some penalties as well. That's why the gaps are so huge. The top 3 now having pitted for hypercar. We'll have to see what the top 3 is like when they come out. Not entirely sure if their pit stops will be of equal length. It looks like second place is already out. Well, actually, no, the guy who was in second has not pitted. He stayed out. That's put Thunder in second place now.
Yeah, it looks like Skapa's in the lead right now, but he has to enjoy it for just 1 lap or 2, and then he'll have to pit. An interesting strategy of having softs on the left side and mediums on the right side.
Oh, Weed has pitted as well, so Jennings stays out. Could this be a winning undercut strategy from our pole sitter?
Okay,
First of the upper GT cars to visit the pit lane.
He's pitting with the hypercars as well.
They're probably about to think that this species of car was extinct among the engineers.
So now this
As
has
we're
to be
seeing more pits in the hypercar class now as well. Bowler in. Another guy that's just been knocked out of the top 8 in.
This has to be a crucial outlap for Witt and crucial in-lap for Levi Jennings.
I'm amazed that Weed is still in second place in class after that that pit stop. I didn't notice that the gaps have gotten so big behind.
I think it's because the guys behind have pitted as well.
I don't think the guy in P3 has pitted, or at least according to his virtual energy. Let me see.
No.
No, he has not.
Okay, we've got Bro has pitted, whatever his full name is.
That's Brown.
Brown. Okay, Brown. I'm sure Brown is a bro to someone out there. But yeah, now we see Weed has lost 40 seconds with that pit stop. It's a massive amount of time. Will Jennings lose more or less than that? We're about to find out.
So let's take a look at Jennings. I think he has to go to the pits.
Yeah, Jennings in a hypercar sandwich at the moment.
And yes, he peels into the pit lane. Let's hope he did not sped, because that would decide the win.
Yeah,
without a proper battle.
I will say I'm glad we got a better camera angle that time, because last time someone into the... Well, the first time we saw someone go into the pits, I thought they were crashing. Yeah, Jennings now in the pit box, getting whatever he needs for that car. And holy moly, that was a short stop.
And where
That
is
was really
Reed?
quick.
Reed is far away. I think Jennings,
Yeah,
Jennings
Yeah.
is dead.
It's not looking good for Weed whatsoever.
No, this gap is gonna
Yeah,
become like 10 seconds or something.
he's coming out and Reed is now crossing the line, so the gap is quite big.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame for the spectacle there. Unless Weed can unlock his inner nitrous, I think he'll be confined to that second position, despite his best efforts to catch up to Jennings. Jennings has just played the cards somewhat better. That gap now 5 seconds to P2. An incredibly short stop, definitely only pitted for what was absolutely necessary.
I think Jennings pitted just for fuel, and Reed might have took tires as well.
If he'd have taken tires, he will definitely have the better tires, so he might gain some.
He's already gained by 1 second. We have 4 minutes left. If he can gain a second per minute, he might still stand a chance for the lead in GT3.
It will be tight.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
Also, can we maybe take a quick look at the stats for the leader of Hypercar? Because I have to wonder when he's going to do his pit stop. Because I think he's actually pulled away from Thunder somewhat since Thunder's pit stop, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah, he has to go to the pit lane this lap, so
All right.
he won't make it to the end. I think he might have tried, but yeah, as someone from tier 2 said, it is not possible.
But yeah, I mean, if a pit stop here is 40 seconds, though, I mean, I'm not entirely sure for the Hypercars. That was the case for the GT3s. But if a pit stop here is 40 seconds, he could well still end up on the podium here. Would stop us.
That is true.
Meanwhile, the gap for GT3 now 3.6 seconds. He's absolutely pushing. Let's go on board. And let's just see how much of the available tarmac he's using into turn 1, touching both curbs there in that corner, taking all of the curb in the second one, all of it in the third one. Not gaining anything in Sector 1 so far, though. It must be around another part of the track that he's gaining all of those tenths.
I think it was like this beginning of the second sector where he had gained a lot.
So the massive straight.
Yeah, and a few corners before that. Like 1 or 2 corners before the straight and then the massive straight.
Interesting. Meanwhile, the fight for third is also, well, heating up ever so slightly. 1.3 seconds separating Bohr from Bro.
In 1 minute, 40 seconds left. I don't think Reed's gonna make it.
Yeah, he's already lost a bit more time this time around as well. So it might have just been that Jennings got hindered by some other cars on that previous lap.
Oh, traffic.
Yeah, that's now Weed himself getting hindered by a faster car, no less.
Will there be any last lap battle? Maybe for P3, but
Yeah, let's put the camera on Bro over there in the Lexus. Ooh, as you can see, some sparks coming off of the front bumper of that car. That's something you don't see every day from a GT3. It's a lowrider right there. Thunder sets a new fastest lap of the race, 37.5. Those are qualifying times. And Skopos has come out in second place, 5-second gap to P3. So it's a strategy that's worked out for him.
it worked out very well actually. I think he started in
hold
P7.
on. Is this third going into the pits?
Yes, it is. Browick.
Aw.
Browick is pitting, so we will not get
Miscalculation.
a last lap battle.
Massive shame for the McLaren driver. I'm not sure if, well, I'm not sure when he realized that he wouldn't be able to make it to the end of the race, but he's at least come in on time to not finish the race with no fuel, because that would be even worse. Borwick now in a deserved P3.
It's actually Borwick in the pit and Brown in P3.
Yeah, it's the other
Oh
way.
shoot, yeah, I got confused because the first three letters are so similar. A very deserved visit to the pits from Borwick. Ay.
And
Yeah, he lost
now.
a couple places with that pit stop.
Yeah, that was pretty painful on the final lap as well. But here is your race leader for the entire evening. Well, I say that, I mean for both classes this evening. It is Thunder. Head and shoulders above the rest tonight. He may not have led every lap, as Friendetset gets a drive-through.
I think that
Thunder
might be
has most certainly had to
30 minutes.
pace this race and wins with 23.5 seconds to spare. Now I do wonder when we're going to see the lead GT3 driver finish. Still 3.6 seconds ahead of Weed. And there we go. Jennings wins it for GT3 in the coolest looking livery I've seen so far. Hats off to him for winning this race. Our pole sitter in second place was not able to claw that gap back in the end, but still hard fought nonetheless.
Then in hypercars we have Christopus Kapas finishing in P2. What a strategy. He did not qualify so well, but it is a podium. And Jose Santana right behind him. And in the GT3s, it is Brown who finishes the podium.
Clearly very happy, going all over the track to celebrate it. As one of the drivers to get a drive through this race, finishes in 4th place in GT3. Definitely not the result they would have hoped for, but still good points nonetheless.
I think Alico and P4, the GT3, can be happy with that result if he got a drive-through penalty as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because throughout the first half of the race, it seemed like the GT cars were all very close-knit. Probably a good group of 5 or 6 cars fighting for that 3rd place until there were a couple of crashes in, I think, maybe the beginning of the 3rd sector, end of the 2nd sector, around about that area. So I think that very much split up the grid and gave people who maybe had some penalties a few more chances.
Yeah.
And now, the race is very much over for most of the field, I think, at this point. Do we do post-race driver interviews here?
Yes, we do. So
Wonderful. All right.
Let's get to that. Just someone has to write in the chat. That should be done quickly.
I'm glad my nice glass of water has lasted exactly the entire race as well. The same cannot be said for the ice cubes. Also, we do have a question here in the chat for us commentator folk. What do you think is the best beginner car in ACC?
In ACC, I mean, the Ferrari is quite easy to drive. I mean, I do have some experience in ACC, but I don't think I'm the person to ask. But if I had to choose, I would choose the Ferrari or the BMW. They are pretty easy to drive. And not just from my experience.
Do you agree with that assessment, Aurora?
Honestly, I have not played the game, so my advice is very hopeless.
Well, I will
Like,
say
I
don't feel...
I can pick any car, and I don't know how to drive it. So yeah.
I'd say don't feel too bad, because if someone asked me that question, I'd have to base my answer off of my knowledge of Project Cars 2, where the Ferrari was also the best car, but those are all Gen 1 versions of those cars, so it's absolute dinosaur times over there. But yeah, it's I definitely think Ferrari makes a few good cars, that's for sure. Either way, do we have anyone actually ready to come in here for an interview?
Yes, it looks like the P3 finisher, Jose Santana, so I'll invite him.
Is that P3 for GT3 or
Hypers? I have sent you the results, so take a look.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. Welcome, Santana, and congratulations on that P3. It definitely looked like you had to fight for that one a bit.
Yes, thank you for. Yeah, I had to fight a bit more. It was a mistake I did that I stopped when Thunder stopped a lap after, and then got bad luck with the traffic and got overtaken by Pasca. So good job for him, and pretty much happy with the P3 in Hypercars, my first podium on this class. So pretty happy. Well done, job, and thinking now about the next race in Monza.
Yeah, well, congratulations. What do you think you can do next round?
Oh well, Toyota has a bit of deficit with the straight speed, so we have to see what we could do, because also Pedersen struggled a bit on the practice sessions. This podium is a total surprise for me. I didn't thought I was going to make it to the podium, maybe up top 10, and then in the lap in qualifying was a good lap, and what happened in the race, the touch with the Pedersen with Andrew, and then well, from there I started thinking on the podium, because Thunder was too far away, like 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, now, Santana, I definitely got to congratulate you once again on that good result, because, I mean, from P14 in the last race to a podium tonight, no mean feat, that's for sure. I'm also seeing you are one of the drivers that went for a split tire strategy. Now, what is the advantage of using only some softs on the car?
Basically, at around lap 10, the left front left tire was losing performance, so we had to put the hards in the front left.
Oh, that's the hard tire. Okay.
Yeah, the hard tire. An alternative was to have the left side full on hard, the right one on medium compound, but this one was the most secure.
Yeah, sure. It's just very interesting to see, because the race winner in hypercar went full medium all the way. Kristupas Skapas went half hard, half medium, and you went 1/4 hard and the rest medium. So it's varying strategies among the top three, but it worked out for all three of you.
Yes, the Toyota has it's not bad with the tire, saving the tires, but it's not the best too. So this was the safest strategy.
Now, final question from me to you, and then I'll hand the mic back to my fellow co-commentators here. Which race this season are you looking forward to the most?
Fuji, for sure. It's the fun race for Toyota, and I think I'm obliged to do a good result there. Also, it's one of my favorite circuits with the Mount Fuji on the background. So
you have a very good taste, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think that's all from us. Congratulations again, and see you next week.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. All right, we do have one more driver waiting for an interview.
That is right.
What do we got?
Florian Folder. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Wohler.
Hello.
That was maybe not the result you've been hoping for, but I think you gave yourself and us some entertainment tonight with those battles.
Well, I hope so. I made some mistakes. Unfortunately, my Ethernet controller decided to disconnect my LAN Ethernet cable right before the race, so I lost already 40 seconds. Then I wasn't sure if my setup was loaded because you can't change it anymore after start. Luckily, it was, but the first few laps felt a bit weird. Then I unfortunately made a mistake when I tried to overtake the GT3s and spun a Mustang. I'm sorry for that guy because I think I ended his race there basically, or almost. That's gonna be a self-report there. Yeah, from that point I just pushed. My plan was usually to drive front left hard. Sadly, I couldn't change that anymore, so I just tried to manage the medium. I think I did quite well. I knew that I had good race pace and also good straight line speed. And from that point, I just tried to get in the flow and made damage perception. I had a bit luck that Sandeep got a drive-through, Mev got a stop and go. So I can be totally happy about P6 after that race.
Yeah, it was definitely eventful around you for quite a bit of that. I think we caught you going off track at some point and then giving the place back to your rival. So always fun to see that fair play as well. What were you really struggling with the most, though, that was causing those off track moments?
Well, I had one moment after Mev let me pass. I don't know why, but every time when I lap him or overtake him, I just spin afterwards. And then I don't know why, but I rejoined safely. I had no cup warning, but the game told me I need to give the position back. And since Jacob is my teammate and I've seen Kenneth is charging in, I decided to stick behind him and help him a little bit with bump drafting.
Yeah,
so,
we caught that.
And from that point on, I just kept driving and managed my race because there was enough gap to the guys behind me and also to the front. There was just a bit unlucky race, but I still enjoyed it, learned a lot. Second race since I think half a year in the hypercar, so I think I can be happy.
Yeah, and I mean, enjoying the racing is really what it's all about, even if you're maybe not scoring the big boy points. So with the racecraft that we did see, though, I definitely think you've got some good hopes for the rest of the season. Now, I asked another driver what track he was looking forward to the most, and the answer we got was Fuji. Do you share that sentiment?
There are quite few favorites here. I love to drive Barcelona, even if I never drove it in hypercar. It will be interesting. I also like Le Mans at the end, especially in hyper, will be way more funnier than the last times on GT3s because you basically can open a book and read it on the straights. I think Fuji Classic is a nice one as well, but a bit sketchy with hyper sometimes, especially the second sector with this long right-hander. Monza will be next week interesting as well. Yeah, there are some nice tracks this season, and I enjoy it, to be fair.
Now, you are in the same car as the guy who ended up winning tonight's race. Does that make you feel confident that you have a good car underneath you for the rest of the season, or are you worried that the other Beamers might have some pace that you're struggling to find?
To be fair, I just don't care. I picked the BMW because I liked it. It felt the best for me. Of course I'm watching at Wolfander. Congrats to him, by the way, because he's always a benchmark for me, and I can always see on him where I improved. Especially last season, the same with Levi Jennings, and at the end it showed really, especially in the mod, that I have the pace if I get the practice together, and it's new for me. The tire model feels a bit odd sometimes, but I'm getting used to it, and I hope that I maybe can attack for a podium at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's a very, very good goal to have. Nice, clear set as well. Now, it's my first time commentating for an LMU race. I assume you're a bit of a veteran here, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, are there any drivers that use a controller here, or is it all wheel users?
I'm not sure. I knew that Bradley Cater, if you know him, did use a controller, but but he's not racing anymore at the moment. But from the drivers on the grid right now, I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure if James Booth, but I don't think so. No. Maybe I look a bit in the replay, and then I can definitely tell you who's driving with controller and who's driving with wheel, because usually you see it quite easy.
I mean, it might be a keyboard as well. Those people exist too.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, it's I haven't played LMU myself yet, but I have seen some keyboard players in PC2 and AMS2 that I mean they really suck in certain cars, but in other cars, oh, they can beat your butt in other cars. It's a very interesting case, but
I mean,
yeah,
there
are some sweet spots for keyboards.
Yeah, there's also, like, as I said, Bradley Cater is also champion here in the GT3 class. He was really the benchmark for 2 or 3 seasons. He drove on controller as well, and he was really fast. Many people can say the same, and I respect them. I personally don't understand how they do it, because every time when I drive with gamepad, I'm just slow, except Forza. Or F1, but yeah.
No, I will say
the wheel just feels so much better.
One thing that makes it difficult sometimes, but this goes for a wheel as well, actually, is almost every controller feels different. So if you go to the internet, you Google what are the best controller settings for a game, they just don't exist. You have to find them yourself, because like an Xbox controller, it's going to handle differently from an off-brand controller or a PlayStation controller. Maybe the different model is also going to have like different sensitivity. But then again, it's the same for a wheel as well. Like I mean, I have a wheel. Yeah. I don't really use it that much yet, but like finding the good force feedback settings and all the right sensitivities, it is so hard. You basically need to be an engineer to do it, and I don't think most of us are.
I mean, you can always use like, for example, Jacob and me tweak them a lot. We are using, I think, almost the same settings. He likes a bit more interpolation. I like a bit less. It always depends on your own feeling. Of course, you can look what others for feedback settings do, but at the end, you need to tweak it still yourself.
Absolutely. Like these hardcore sim games, they're not the most plug and play out there, but I'm definitely glad to see that some controller drivers out there are still flourishing. As a bit of a soft spot for me as well, because I just love the thought of taking the fight to these people with €2,000 rigs with my €20 controller.
Well, I'm happy to have finally a direct drive wheel since the beginning of the year, and I'm really enjoying
congrats.
it. Before that, I drove a Bait Ravenseas Elite Piece 4. It had 6 Nm, but it's another league, really. I can feel the car so much better. It's so more direct, so it even feels lighter to countersteer the car sometimes, and sometimes I think, whoa, how did I save that? You know.
Well, I can hear in your voice how much you're enjoying that new wheel.
Yeah, pretty sure. I love it. I mean, it's only a CS LED with boost kit, but 8 Nm is fine for me. I know that people have Simo cubes with 21. I just need my 8, and they are totally fine.
But yeah, I mean, I will say one last thing I'll mention about the wheels before I hand the mic over to my colleagues here, is that I have seen some situations where people just put so much torque, so many Newton meters on their sim wheel that it actually becomes more than you'd experience on a real vehicle.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm kind of, that's true as well. There are videos where I think, how do you drive 21 Newton meters? I mean, yeah, I actually had some issues since when I switched to the 8 Newton meter, because my left handle of my rim broke off. Ooh. I needed to glue it, and hopefully it works. It's still holding. We hope that it still holds, because if that breaks again, I have a problem. Yeah, but I enjoyed the race, and I hope the others did as well. Even if it was not the cleanest race of many people, everyone basically almost made mistakes, I think.
Even the guy that won the race, Thunder, I believe we caught him spinning as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite hot. We had 30-degree air and 50-degree tracks, so the tires were suffering, especially the front left. then also the most guys people come from West European or Middle European. It's quite hot at the moment here, so everything gets together. But I think this is one of the races which shows me that you never should get up. Anyway, how worse it goes for you, you always can catch some points at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I did say that would be my last question, but since I am still new here, actually, to what position do you still get points in this racing series?
P10, I think. Yeah, from P1 to P10. Let me check that. Double check that on SimGrid.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it on the wiki now. I believe you are completely correct. So that's definitely a lot of points to play for in the top 10. If you're outside of the top 10 though, still a chance that the guy ahead of you might disconnect. So still no reason to give up.
Yeah, true. I used to be a driver who, like when I was 2 minutes behind, who said, "No, I'm going to the garage." But there were times where I was just even way more frustrated maybe about races when they did go wrong. I tried to get out that, and I think I just try to enjoy and improve myself every time. I know that I won't get an esporter, but I try to be as good as I can.
That's the kind of mindset we do like to see in our drivers. So thank you very much for coming on, Waller. Do you guys have any other questions for our driver tonight?
I was only wondering, like, how much difference does it make if you have a normal controller versus like these really expensive sim racing simulators? But
well, it depends. Maybe how can I explain it? When you have a brake pedal,
yeah,
and it's really hard, or a clutch, which is completely new, and you feel when you try to shift the manual car, you really feel when you need to let the clutch go and come back. For example, when you're driving off the red light.
Yeah.
And then you have a worn clutch. I think this explains it quite good, because then you don't really feel the clutch bite point. It feels like a squish, like a not a squish.
It's just a button,
like,
really.
Yeah, like a sponge, you know?
Yeah.
I think this explains it. I mean, there are really fast drivers on controller, but I still think it feels just like I have no really control about the car, and this is definitely different with controller.
I can attest to that. Actually, that can be a very big issue for controller players. Is that you're just not getting the force feedback that you want or need. It's worse in some games than others. I think PC2 has some very good controller support. Maybe some slightly questionable curb physics and other physics at times. But like games like iRacing, I mean, the controller support in that game is so offensively bad. I wish they just didn't have it. Because if you're gonna make the controller support so bad, it's like you're just insulting the controller players. Just don't put it in there to begin with, then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say another major difference between controller versus fancy wheel is, of course, the brake input. You are doing it with your foot now instead of with your fingers. That is something that takes some getting used to. If you have controller rumble on as well for force feedback, you tend to feel what happens when you're applying throttle, applying brake, sliding the car around a little bit. It is different on a wheel in the sense that all the force feedback is in the wheel, and the wheel is only controlling, it depends on the car a little bit, but it's controlling your gear shifts and your steering. Your actual throttle and brake application is completely going through the pedals, and there's almost no pedals on the market that have the vibrations coming through that. So, as a controller player, I'm used to feeling. Or do you actually have those?
No. But maybe a bit funny. I have a race room Wii stand. Basically, it's not the best. It's not the worst. It's okay, but the vibrations of the wheelbase go into my brake pedal as well. So I kind of have feedback, and yeah.
That is the honestly 200 IQ solution. You are getting the same effect for zero money. Well done. But yeah, that is a big difference. As you're on a controller, you're getting that force feedback in the part of your body that's doing the brake and throttle applications, which is quite nice. You pretty much get that in a real car as well because your whole body is getting all those feelings. But when you're just sitting there in a normal wheel with some pedals, unless your name is Waller, you will not be feeling that in your feet that are giving the throttle and brake inputs.
I heard also rumors from people who built their own wood rig and switched to I don't know, SimLab or something, that they complained about. I have less feedback than I had before. So maybe it's it depends how you like it. I mean, there are bus shakers as well which can help with oversteer and everything. There's so much room to play, or even motion rigs, but who has $10,000 for that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's if you have that money, you might as well start driving a real car at some point. Now we do have an extra comment in the chat from Laasha, and that says controller car feedback is also only visual. A wheel can tell you when you're hitting ABS. Now that is an interesting question actually, because in PC2, when I use the controller there, I tend to use chase cam, except for open wheel cars. And when you're in chase cam, even though you might not be feeling the car locking up as much as you would want to, like on a wheel, if you're in chase cam, you can see the lockups and visually determine like when to let go of the brakes and stuff. It's much harder if you're using cockpit cam with a controller for sure, and which in other games is necessary. Like in AMS2, I find it incredibly difficult to race with chase cam. It's just when you're in chase cam on a controller, your turning inputs are usually slightly later than usual. PC2 can handle that for most cars. AMS2 really can't. You need to turn in early in that game.
Okay.
All right.
And I have no idea about LMU, so maybe LMU has the best controller.
I have no clue.
I have no idea. I only use controllers, and the only thing that I feel is the vibration when you hit curbs. That's the only thing that I notice, I think. See,
in most games, you feel the vibration when you hit curbs. In PC2, you feel your car flying off the track when you hit curbs.
All right.
Now, I'm telling you, those curbs in that game have a gravity well built into them.
I think as well there are people who doing. I don't know. I've seen pictures on Reddit, and I asked me really how to do that. So they have normal load cells from Fanatec or something, and they hook duct tape and duct taped Xbox controller on their brake pedal to get the vibrations.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy, man. I mean, if it works, it works, but...
There are no limits to human ingenuity.
Yeah.
Nope.
As they say on the internet, the design is very human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about all we can squeeze in here for tonight about Force feedback. So thank you very much for coming on, Waller. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have even more fun next week.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna see how the race will go. It's Monza, right? Oh.
Yep.
Temple of Speed.
Yeah. Hard brake zones. I hate them. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful evening. Thanks for being in the stream. Thanks for dating. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Okay, with this I think we can launch a podcast. I've been talking about 20 minutes here, which might kill me because of it, but otherwise I think it was a good talk. And I think that's it from us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Looking forward to what these drivers can do in Monza. As Waller said, it's a heartbreak zone. He might have meant hard braking zones, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who will have heartbreak there as well. So we'll have to wait and see next week. Thank you all for joining us tonight.